Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. Now, as far as what I thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite, I thought it was just an all right show. There were some good things, there were some very interesting things, and then there was also some stuff on the show that kind of just bored me and didn't have my interest at all. So, kind of a roller coaster of a show, hitting its peaks and its valleys and whatnot. But we got Luke over here. Luke, what did you think of tonight's Dynamite?
I kind of felt the same way. I thought it was just an okay show, and honestly, I had high hopes for the show.
Yeah.
I really did, because like they were advertising Kenny and Jeff Cobb, which we'll get to that later. It was Adam Cole's like first match back in a while, but like it just felt like just
Not getting any audio from you all of a sudden. I don't know if it's on your end or my end.
again.
Oh, now I hear you. It's got to be something on my end. Whenever I click go live, for some reason, like my whole computer just starts buzzing like it's super loud, like I'm using too many resources. And I don't know why. It's an issue on my end. So I'm going to try and close a few things that are open and see if that helps. So give us 1 second, guys. I'm just going to try a couple things. It's all on my end. I can tell you that for sure. Because I know what the issue is. I'm just not 100% sure how to fix it. That's the problem. Let me try something. But yeah, as far as tonight's show does go, I think we're both in the same boat of it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like one of their better great shows or anything. But
Not gonna lie, I thought tonight was supposed to be FTR versus the Guns. I didn't know that was next week.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that. But if you think about it, though, and maybe I'm wrong in thinking this, last week they never even put a day on it. They were just like, yeah, we want to challenge you soon. But I don't even remember them putting an actual date on that match. And maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention last week when they actually did. So I don't know. But as far as all that goes, we'll get into that here in a second. I want to say thank you if you are watching live, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, or if you're watching live on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, if you do ever miss into the show or any of the show, you can also listen on podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Now, remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of free things, like free games, free stuff for games, and they always give you 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can become a channel member on YouTube to support us over there. You get a lot of things like early access news, early access podcast episodes, early access non-news videos, and so much more. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're getting the brand new, well, kind of brand new, it's new to PC, The Last of Us Part 1, that just came out yesterday on PC. Well, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout. Whether you're getting that game, whether you're claiming one of the free games, whether you're getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, or getting into that new season of Fortnite, getting that mega season battle pass, use code PW Unlimited, PWU NLIMITED at checkout. You'll be supporting us at no extra cost. I also do know that there's a bunch of sales going on right now on the Epic Game Store. There's a big old Square Enix sale right now, so maybe you want to go check that out. And if you do, remember, use our code. I think they also have a Plyon publisher sale right now as well that's giving up to 85% off. That gives you games like, I'm trying to remember, I think Forspoken, Saints Row, Road 96, Windbound, and a bunch of other games as well. But with that, we've got AEW Dynamite to talk about. AEW kicked off with Excalibur welcoming us to the show and welcoming us to the night that Adam Cole makes his big return. Then sent into Justin Roberts, and we had our first match of the night, which surprisingly was not Orange Cassidy. I was a little shocked that they didn't have Orange Cassidy yet again open up the show, but instead it was Jungle Boy and Matt Hardy. Now, here's my question to you, Luke. Is it Jungle Boy? Is it Jungle Boy Jack Perry, or is it just Jack Perry? Because they say it all different ways.
I think it's probably Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
That's what I think. That's what I would think as well. But no Stokely Hathaway after his match last week with Hook. It was just Matt Hardy out there with Ethan Page. Both men, Jungle Boy and Hardy, had a nice back and forth early on, with Hardy being sent to the floor. As Page put a stop to a potential Perry dive, this delay was long enough for Matt Hardy to actually catch Jungle Boy in midair and then hit him with a side effect on the outside. They also showed Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara watching backstage, even though Sammy wasn't really paying attention. Instead, he was making out with his wife. Jungle Boy fought back for a while and at one point hit a double sledge off the barricade before there was a slugfest on the apron. There's another side effect by Matt Hardy, but this time on the edge of the ring as we went to commercial break. They told us it was all Matt Hardy during the picture-in-picture. I didn't see it on the app, so yeah. Jungle Boy fired back with a drop kick, and Ethan Page ran some distraction, which allowed Hardy to connect with a superplex for a 2. For a third time, Page got involved, but Hook's music would hit, and out would come the FTW champion. He started a brawl with Page. Perry took out Hardy with a dive, but back inside, Hardy tried to go for a third side effect, and Perry countered with a flatliner and a charging forearm to knock out Hardy and pick up the victory. So there we go. Jungle Boy does defeat Matt Hardy. Before we get to the post-match stuff, what do you think of the match itself?
Not gonna lie, I was kind of bored throughout this match.
A little bit.
Honestly, I couldn't really care about this match. Honestly, really, Matt Hardy was literally just someone that they can just throw out there for like Jungle Boy to like gain momentum if he's potentially the next guy to fight MJF.
Right. Speaking of MJF made his way out to the ring. Music of the AEW World Champion hit, and MJF came down and said it was a Kanye move by Perry to interrupt the Rebar Mitzvah last week. MJF said that Perry had the audacity to say MJF had it easy in AEW and agreed, as he barely wrestles. He goes, so yeah, I do have it kind of easy. I don't have to work as much as you or as hard as you. Did I collect fat paychecks and take private jets to beautiful Long Island, New York? MJF said that Perry gave his blood, sweat, and tears to the fans, but they've never thanked him. Not getting an opportunity either. And there was one point, I think it was Shivani was like, well, Jungle Boy's always been a tag team guy, but he's chosen to go his own route as a singles wrestler now. And I'm like, no, he didn't choose in the storyline. Luchasaurus turned on him. So, yeah. MJF said that when he and Jungle Boy wrestled at Daly's place at Double or Nothing, MJF realized he may have met an equal. He said that he went backstage and he gave Jungle Boy some advice. Ditch your friends and look out for no one but yourself. MJF mentioned that he had... MJF mentions that Jungle Boy didn't take that lesson. He went out there and he hung out with Marco Stunted Growth and the Dino Douchebag, as well as Christian. He said AEW could have been the Jack Perry show, but for 3 years, it's been me holding up this show and now holding the world title. He said, you are still just Jungle Boy. Perry called MJF a selfish, narcissistic piece of shit, and he's going to become the AEW World Champion his own way, not waking up alone every day, hating the person that he sees in the mirror. MJF, they congratulated Perry for learning how to talk after 4 years, calling him weak and bringing up his real-life girlfriend, saying, hey, I spoke to your hot-ass girlfriend backstage, Anna Jay. And, well, you know what she told me? She told me you're weak between the knees. This then led to Jungle Boy double-leg takedowning MJF, and the two would brawl. And, yeah, eventually MJF would get out of there after he avoided a big old forearm shot. But there we go. I don't know if Jungle Boy is the actual next challenger. A lot of people online think that is the sentiment, that he's going to defend the title, MJF that is, defend the title against Jungle Boy first, but that is kind of how they made it seem here. So what did you think of the post-match, I guess you could say, verbal smackdown?
I thought MJF was pretty good on the mic tonight, but I mean, there's still some time until Double or Nothing, so
Right.
maybe they'll do this again with like Darby and Sammy to make it seem like Jungle Boy may not be the next challenger. But
True.
if I had to pick out of those three guys, it's probably gonna be Jungle Boy. But
Right. I would as well.
I don't really see any of these guys like beating MJF. Like Darby, he ain't beating
No.
MJF for the title. I don't really see Jungle Boy beating him either.
I don't.
Sammy, he's not beating MJF.
No.
So
That is the one downside to all this, is none of them are like, nobody, as you're saying, probably sees them as legit challengers that can win, which is unfortunate. Kid Vicious, yes.
I mean,
I was just say Kid Vicious, yes. Jungle Boy and Anna Jay, at least as of a couple of months ago, were dating. I don't know if they still are or not, but I would assume they still are if they brought it up in storyline. Go for it.
I mean, I could kind of see Jungle Boy winning because like the way they've been like building him up, saying like he needs to like win a title, but like I just don't see him beating MJF.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I get that for sure. So as we move forward, Alex Marvez was backstage. So we got to say, before we talk about this next segment, there was a legit injury that took place during this segment. Alex Marvez is backstage at the request of Don Callis. No, not this segment. It was later on. There was an injury. Another Don Callis segment. We'll get to it, though. Don Callis told Kenny Omega that he lost his balance last week with Hangman Page. He questioned why Omega would trust Page and not him after everything that happened with them in the past. Callis said that he's going to find Page and make things right as Omega continues to get taped up ahead of his title match tonight against Jeff Cobb. Really taping up that elbow. Hopefully it's not an issue and he's trying to not work through a hurt elbow, but that's unfortunate that, well, I don't know for sure, but the way they were taping up that elbow was like he might be hurt. But yeah, not really much here other than Don Callis being like, hey, Hangman didn't knock me over like I tried to tell you last week. So yeah, kind of a interesting reverse of roles.
It kind of just made that segment from last week just seem pointless. Don Callis was just gonna say, yeah, that wasn't real.
Yeah, it's just very weird. Like, why would Don tell him last week, oh, he hit me, and then now he's like, no, he really didn't. Sorry, I lied. Like, what? Are we supposed to think maybe Kenny saw the footage back later and it's all good? I don't know. There's a video package with Matt Menard and Angelo Parker talking to the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. They said they were spending the night together in St. Louis. There was a hockey game, carousel rides, a big dinner, and then they made their pitch on why the Acclaimed should join the JAS, which all of this was paid for by Jericho. So it's not just 2.0 trying to recruit the Acclaimed. Jericho wants the Acclaimed, and they said that Jericho wants their answer next week. That's an interesting one. Very interesting. Next week's supposed to be a very big show for AEW. We'll talk about why later. So you think this just leads to like the Acclaimed saying no and fighting Sammy and Jericho or something?
I guess I don't really see the Acclaim joining the JS anyway. 'Cause they're
No.
like so big as they're like so big as baby faces right
yeah.
now. Where like if you turn them heel, a lot of fans would be pissed off, in my opinion.
Right. So next up, we had the BCC, the Blackpool Combat Club. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta taking on Dalton Castle and the boys. It was the BCC just beating their asses. Like nothing happened. Nothing. I was bored as shit. Damn echo going off. Basically, they were beating the crap out of them as referee Rick Knox started the match, despite everything that had just happened. Moxley had an anaconda choke on Castle on the floor. Claudio hit a quick Ricola bomb on one of the boys and picked up the victory. Like nothing happened here. Nothing. And then it was just over. No post-match beatdown. Like what? Huh? They're just supposed to show they're a dominant trio. As we learn, will turn into a quad in a little bit. But yeah, I was bored with this and just a boring beatdown.
Yeah, they're basically just trying to make it seem like Blackpool Combat Club are going to be anyone at any time.
Right.
So like you should be scared of these guys, and you're not supposed to like them either.
Exactly. The video package highlighted Kenny Omega and Jeff Cobb in their upcoming match. They had some stuff about an interaction they had in New Japan and a few other things as well. So then we had a segment where an actual injury did take place tonight. Fox Marvez was backstage with Hangman. He said Nick suffered a separated shoulder while Matt has a partially torn bicep. Now that's real. I don't know about Nick Jackson's shoulder, but Matt Jackson is legit out with a torn bicep right now. He said he's not getting surgery. Well, Marvez said, well, who do you think attacked them? And Paige is like, is that a question? You're really asking me that? It was the Blackpool Combat Club. Don Callis would then enter the picture, and he said he apologized for falling down last week and saying that Hangman hit him. He went to extend his hand for a handshake when all of a sudden Moxley, Castagnoli, and Yuta would run in and attack both men. They would take out Paige before also attacking Don Callis. Don Callis was actually knocked over to the point where he was busted open and suffered some sort of a legit injury, according to a new report from PW Insider. So yes, Mike Johnson of PW Insider stated that Don Callis did suffer some sort of an injury during this little segment, I guess you can call it tonight. Not sure how severe it is, but we saw a bunch of blood. So Don was legit busted open during this. What do you think of the segment?
I mean, it really sucks for Don Callis.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully he's all right. But I think what they're trying to make it seem like at first that maybe like Don Callis was just trying to like help Blackpool Combat Club, because at first he didn't really do anything. He just kind of stood there. Then Blackpool Combat Club eventually attacked Don Callis.
Right.
I feel like that was kind of like my take on it, because some people are probably thinking maybe Don Callis is trying to like step away from Kenny. So
maybe he steps away from Kenny and goes and manages the BCC instead.
Do you think he fits well with the BCC?
They need a over-the-top mouthpiece. I would think he would fit as far as being like their over-the-top mouthpiece for a big heel group like that. I think it would work.
I'd say it's gonna be one or three options. He goes to BCC. He goes to Takeshita because he's been recruiting Takeshita, or he goes to MJF and then they just turn him like just two like piece of shit guys that like everyone hates.
Right.
So that'd be hilarious.
So before the upcoming IWGP US title match, Tony Schiavone walked up to Kenny Omega before his entrance and told him, hey, Don Callis and Hangman were just attacked by the BCC. Omega seemed shocked by this, but had to clear his head as his music hit, and it was time for him to come out. Also, it wasn't his AEW music. They played his New Japan theme.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
Especially when he's defending a New Japan title.
Right.
They use the New Japan theme. I thought that was pretty cool.
Same. So Cobb showed off his power early on in this match, as this presented a completely different challenge for Omega than Vikingo did last week. Cobb was sent to the floor early, and Omega hit a Terminator dive. But after hitting a Kataro Crusher, foolishly, he tried to slam Cobb, and Cobb collapsed on him instead. So basically, Kenny tried to go for a scoop slam, and as he had Cobb up, Cobb weighed too much for him and fell down. There was a running brainbuster by Cobb that put him in control as he zoned in on the injured ribs and elbow of Kenny Omega. Cobb went to work on the floor after he threw Kenny out, posting Kenny back first to the post, and then he continued the onslaught during the commercial break. Omega tried to fire back after the break with a running claw slam, but as he tried to go for the "you can't escape," kind of buckled again, and Cobb hit him with a spinning suplex instead. Cobb tried the release German suplex, but Omega landed on his feet and then charged in with a spinning Polish hammer. There was a backslide attempt from Omega that actually got a running knee strike and a 2. Omega signaled for the V-trigger, but Cobb hit a great standing dropkick instead to counter. Omega wiggled out of a fireman's carry and hit multiple Snapdragon suplexes, only for Cobb to pop up with a lariat into a double down spot. With both men down at one point, there was a struggle to get to their feet. They were throwing forearms and chops and everything. Cobb hit an uppercut to the ribs at one point. Cobb then set up Omega in the corner with a raising headbutt and hit a delayed superplex. There was a standing moonsault that only got Cobb a near fall. As Cobb hit a V-trigger, he tried to go for the one-winged angel and a tour of the islands, but Omega countered into a ripcord knee and a V-trigger. Omega managed to get Cobb up for the one-winged angel and hit it to pick up the victory. So there we go. And Omega does successfully retain the belt. Now before this crazy post-match, what did you think of the match itself?
It was a good match. It was definitely the best match night.
Oh, 100%.
So, like, I had a lot of high hopes for this match, and this match did not disappoint. So,
what else didn't disappoint was the post-match angle that saw a huge heel turn take place. So after the match, the BCC come out. Moxley, Castagnoli, and Yuta. They surround the ring. They start to get up on the apron like they're all three going to attack Kenny at once, and then out comes Bryan Danielson. Danielson comes out and yells at the BCC, "Get down. No, we're not doing this." Seemingly coming out to help Kenny Omega. Omega backs himself in the corner like, what's going on here? Danielson extends the hand to help up Kenny, and he helps him up. Kenny gets to his feet and sees, I want to say it was Yuta, jump up on the apron. As he runs to knock Yuta off the apron, well, Danielson then sets up in the corner. As Omega turns around, Danielson then charges and hits him with the Busaku knee. With Omega down, Danielson applies the bell lock, and the rest of the BCC jump in to send the boots to Kenny Omega. So as Danielson has Omega in the label lock, you got Yuta, Moxley, and Claudio all just stomping the crap out of Kenny Omega. Eventually, Danielson gets to his feet with a huge smile on his face, and Omega just motionless on the floor. He starts screaming something that I couldn't really tell what he was saying to Omega. And basically, the question we had last week of, was Danielson no longer with the BCC? Well, that was answered. And that was answered with yes. And he's one of these badass heels. What did you think of the post-match angle and Danielson's heel turn?
it was definitely kind of like unexpected.
Yes.
For me, because like we haven't really seen Danielson do anything with Blackpool Combat Club for a long time. Because they had him do this stuff with MJF, and then after Revolution, we haven't seen him for a while. But he's back now. And honestly, what I think this is going to lead to, in my opinion, I feel like this is going to lead to an eight-man match, maybe like Anarchy in the Arena, Double or Nothing, like Blackpool Combat Club versus like Kenny and Hangman, like two others.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't know if the Bucks will be cleared by Double or Nothing. Well, Matt Jackson. I don't think Nick's actually injured, but Matt. We don't know Matt's status for Double or Nothing. Hopefully, he can return. It's 2 months, so we'll see.
I mean, if not them, I'm sure they could easily add 2 more, whether that's like 2 people from Dark Order.
Yeah.
Or
Uno and Grayson.
yeah, I think that would be a fun
For sure.
match right there. Uno, Grayson, Hangman, and Kenny
Right.
versus Blackpool Combat Club, Anarchy in the Arena.
So as we move forward, we had the International Championship on the line. Still got to get used to saying that instead of All Atlantic. I mean, why change the name? I still don't understand why they changed the damn name, but whatever. It's whatever. It was Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship against the Butcher. Another match where I just didn't care. Kind of bored. It really did nothing for me. So the Blade attack, Cassidy.
I will say this,
though. Yeah.
I will say this. I am sick and tired of these random, like, international title defenses. Like, they do absolutely nothing. They do nothing for me. It's like every single week, Orange Cassidy just facing like a random opponent with like no build whatsoever. Like, I'm sick of it.
You must have read my notes or something, because I literally said the Blade attacked Cassidy pre-match as he started his nothing happening, meaningless match against the Blade in another international title match that meant nothing. That's literally what I wrote. Another match that means nothing.
That is hilarious.
So Cassidy was given time to recover, of course, before the match actually started. And they start the match, and he used his speed, but then really didn't because he went for the little kicks. Butcher had none of it, catching Cassidy with catching Cassidy on a crossbody and hitting him with a gut buster. Butcher worked the ribs through picture-in-picture, they said, locking on a clover leaf, and Cassidy wouldn't quit. Butcher tried a powerbomb, but Cassidy went for the eyes. He tried an orange punch, and Butcher countered into a violent choke breaker. Cassidy then fought back and hit a stun dog millionaire and a satellite DDT, which almost ended horribly, but they kind of fixed it in midair. So yeah, that didn't look too great. Cassidy then hit a diving DDT off the top as Butcher took the ref. As the Blade hit the ring and clocked Cassidy with a pipe because the ref was distracted, he hit him right in the ribs. Butcher quickly made the cover, but only managed to get a 2 off of this. Out would then come Best Friends to attack and take out the Blade. While the Butcher threw the ref down, he again went for the pipe, but Orange Cassidy hit the orange punch and the beach break to win the match. He pins the Butcher. There we go. Just another, like you said, meaningless international title match. Like, no build, no nothing. And with no build, who really believes that someone that's just randomly challenging is gonna beat Orange Cassidy? I feel like until they actually do one with meaning, then no one should care about, oh, it's the Butcher. Oh, it's, I don't know, the Blade now challenging. These matches mean nothing, and like I have no interest in them. I like Orange Cassidy way more than I used to, but I like Orange Cassidy. It's just these matches, you know the outcome. Someone's going to interfere. Best Friends are going to come down to even the odds, and Orange Cassidy's going to sneak with a win. It's the same thing every single goddamn time.
Yeah, so like, what now? Next week, the Blade is going to challenge.
Right,
Orange
exactly.
Cassidy?
Exactly. So, Jay Cargill video. She's shown talking about how Taya Valkyrie laid out Layla Gray and Mark Sterling with a jaded, breaking Sterling's nose in the process. Valkyrie has a match on Rampage, and Sterling will have his legal process to handle, will have his legal, I wrote this weird wrong. He's going to have somebody, I wrote this way wrong. He's going to have somebody there to take care of Taya. I think Taya is facing Marina Shafir on Rampage Friday. We also got a Juice Robinson video. Talks about he's got an upcoming match this Friday with Action Andretti. Said every punch he connects will be a statement for Ricky Starks. as this will be a small taste of what Ricky will actually be getting next week. So next week, it will be Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson. Then we had Ruby Soho versus Willow Nightingale. And I got two things to say about this match. Kudos for AEW giving a women's match longer time than normal. I felt like this match did go longer than most AEW women's matches on Dynamite. But even to that, this match was so boring. This match was not that good. And I couldn't care less about it. I don't know what your thoughts on this Ruby Willow match was, but I didn't like it at all. I feel like it dragged a lot.
I didn't like it either. I feel like they're kind of doing the same thing every week for the women.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know if you feel the same way, but yeah, like I'll get to that later, like after the match. But I feel like it's just the same stuff every week for the women.
Yeah,
that's what it's been like for the past few weeks.
So with Ruby now being a heel, though, she doesn't come out to her rancid thing. No more Ruby Soho, which I like the song, but I really like Taz trying to sing it as well. And now we're not getting that anymore because, well, she's not a babyface, and they react like baby, and that song gets a big babyface reaction. So, whatever. Oh, my notes. Here we go. So Willow seemed kind of distraught and disappointed early on. Like, Ruby was her friend, and she at one point felt like she gave the vibe of, I don't know if I should really be fighting you. We're friends. Why are we doing this and whatnot? But whatever. So Nightingale had Soho's offense scouted as she tried to go for a no future early, and she countered into a tilt-a-whirl. There was a tilt-a-whirl head scissors and a side slam and a splash. Willow fired off of the corner with a forearm until Soho begged off. Was like, no, maybe we still can be friends. I'm sorry. Willow's like, really? We can? And then she grabbed Willow and flung her down into the ropes. Soho then distracted the referee as Saraya jumped on the apron and hit her with like 4 or 5 knees to the face. Willow did try to mount a comeback after a commercial break, after stopping another attack from Saraya, sending her to the floor. Willow took the fight to Soho with a nice spinebuster and a gnarly Death Valley driver. Aubrey Edwards saw Tony shake the middle ropes while Willow was up there and did nothing. She literally was looking straight at Tony Storm as she shook the ropes to try to like knock Willow down, and she just kind of looked at her like, "You're doing something, huh? Okay, cool." Did nothing. And so Soho hit multiple no future kicks and only got a 2 off of it. Soho was launched with a pounce as the straps came down for Willow, and Willow wanted to go for the Doctor Bomb, but she kind of felt a little like she shouldn't again. Felt like for the 10th time, she shouldn't do it. And then, well, Saraya got involved again. So much goddamn interference here. Saraya took the ref, and it was enough for Willow to get distracted. So Soho stole the victory with her feet up on the ropes. So yeah, they pinned her. What did you think of the match itself?
Like you said, the match was like pretty boring. It
Yeah.
didn't really do a lot for me.
It was boring, and they felt like they were like dragging things out.
I also kind of feel like they're just trying to make it long.
Right.
Just like seem like, oh, it's a long match. Like, we do care about the women here.
Exactly.
But the match didn't really do anything for me, even though it was a long match.
So after the match, Ruby Soho opted not to spray the paint, but she asked for a steel chair. Before any damage could be done, though, Sky Blue and Riho would sprint down to the ring. They kind of put up a fight and then were sent to the floor. Sky Blue was. Riho was then held in the ring, and she was about to get spray painted when out would come the AEW Women's World Champion, Jamie Hayter. She made the save and cleaned house of all the women in the ring. And yeah, she saved the woman that she's defending the belt against next week. She's defending the title against Riho next week. What did you think of the post-match?
And like, it's the same thing that they're doing like every week. Like I said, like the Outcast try to save them. And if Riho gets attacked, then Jamie Hayter's gonna come out and save them. Like
Yeah.
it's the same thing every week. Like I mean, I feel like this is definitely gonna lead to like a tag match at Double or Nothing, possibly Blood and Guts. But are they gonna add someone else in the Outcast?
Remember though, Double or Nothing's 2 months away, so they got a lot of Dynamite they can do these big matches on.
True, but but they gotta make it seem like, are they gonna add someone else in the Outcast to like make it either like an 8-woman, or are they just gonna do 3-on-3?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one. But we got some breaking news. Some breaking news from Mr. Tony Khan. This Friday at Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, Hiroshi Tanahashi will be going one-on-one with Daniel Garcia. Holy crap. That match should be pretty goddamn good. I don't know if I'm going to... I'll watch Supercard of Honor. I'm not going to watch it live because it's at the same time as SmackDown. But I will watch Supercard of Honor. And this match, holy crap. They got a lot of good matches set for this show. It should be a good one.
The one match I'm really excited for is the Reach for the Sky ladder match.
Yes. That match has... Who's all in that match?
That's the one match that they're... That's the one match that they're really like pushing.
Yes.
Because they're going to crown new champs.
Let me see.
It's Lucha Bros, Top Flight, Kingdom, Roosh Drilistico, and who else?
Trying to find it right here. Give me 1 second. Twitter's wanting to run slow for me. Let me see. Ring of Honor. Supercard of Honor. Got it. It is... What the heck? Drilistico and Roosh, the Lucha Bros, the Kingdom, Aussie Open, and Top Flight.
Yeah, Aussie Open. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams for the vacant Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships.
What do you think?
Ooh, that's a good
match.
Something is telling me Top Flight for some reason. Like Tony likes them so much that he wants to put belts on them, but he's not going to put the AEW belts on them, but maybe the Ring of Honor belts. For some reason, Top Flight is the one team that keeps standing out to me in that.
I'd say either them or maybe the Lucha Bros, because I know the Lucha Bros, that was the first tag team announced for that match. I'm pretty sure.
Right. I just something keeps telling me Top Flight. Like something in my gut keeps saying Top Flight.
Yeah, I could probably see Top Flight, and they can just feud with the Kingdom.
Right.
Those titles.
So we got a quick video package for Powerhouse Hobbs and the TNT champion. Nothing really here. Other than he says, this belt will never leave my waist. So then we had our main event. It was the return of Adam Cole, and they had to tell us 50 million times, this match is 9 months in the making. And if you want to see the making of this match, make sure to watch AEW All Access after this show. They had to tell us so much. Watch All Access, watch All Access, watch All Access, watch All Access. Well, in like the first 15 minutes of All Access, for some reason, we've got Toni Storm, Saraya, Jamie Hayter, and Britt Baker all backstage hanging out. Like what? All hanging out, talking crap on Thunder Rosa. So, I didn't really like that because they're all like they're feuding right now on AEW television. But then I get it. This show was filmed before Full Gear. I get that, but well, they're feuding right now. Don't make them look like friends, especially when Britt is like talking up Tony like she's the best woman in this company. So I don't know. It just didn't feel right to me. Some people don't have a problem with it. I'm not saying I have a problem with it, but storyline wise, it kind of kills it. Like, why are we supposed to believe that these women all hate each other on screen when backstage they're friends? They're like, oh, Britt's like, Tony, you're so great. You don't care that you're called interim, and you'll do anything for this company. Unlike Thunder Rosa, who can't even show up to work and should be stripped of the. It's just, yeah, I'm nitpicking for nothing, but still.
So, two things I want to add to that. One, it's bad for storyline purposes because, like you said, like Britt and Jamie are feuding with Saray and Tony, so it kind of like kills the storyline a little bit.
Exactly.
And two, it almost kind of makes it seem like that Tony Khan is like perfectly okay with kind of like these people in the company, and there's kind of like no repercussions about it whatsoever.
Oh, the beginning of this show?
That's the one thing I don't like.
Yeah, the beginning of this show is all about putting over Tony Khan, though. Like the first 4 or 5 minutes, so much Tony Khan this, Tony Khan that, Tony Khan. Like there's, I can tell you right now exactly what it says because I took screenshots of it. It says, so the show opens up and it says on the screen. I'm gonna pull these up real fast. Why won't these pictures load all of a sudden? Come on. Here we go. So if it wants to load. Oh, now it's not going to want to load up. All right, let me see. Come on, here we go. So the show starts off and it says this. I'll pull it up on the screen. So it says, in 2019, Tony Khan wanted to change the world of professional wrestling. He signed and partnered with a group of elite stars. Under his leadership, together they started a revolution, city by city, week by week. AEW has become a phenomenon. But success in the ring can come at a steep price. And then they say that this first episode was filmed 2 weeks before Full Gear, and that the entire locker room is on edge as wrestlers train to prepare. And then you have people like Britt Baker, who's like over here praising Tony Khan. Oh yeah, Tony Khan, he started this and that, and he did this and that. And I'm like, what? And then Matt Jackson also. Here's another one. Matt Jackson literally goes, yeah, we're here in AEW, but before AEW, there was really only one place to go, and we never made it to the big show because we didn't fit their mold. But the weird thing about that is Matt himself has gone on record and stated that in 2018, he and his brother had a phone call, if not multiple phone call talks, with Triple H about Triple H wanting to sign the Young Bucks. This was before Triple H had any knowledge that AEW was ever going to be a thing. Well, that was a weird one too. Matt going, well, we didn't fit WWE's mold, so we didn't go there. That's why we're here.
Yeah, it was mainly, I feel like Tony Khan just told Nick to say that.
It was a weird one, a very weird one.
Opinion.
But back to Dynamite. The opening moments were filled. The opening moments were filled with a lot of back and forth and some grappling as well until Cole flipped out of a headlock and went down momentarily, but then slapped on a headlock. Garcia fought back with a quick snapdragon pile driver. And Cole rolled to the floor as the ref was checking on him, as they wanted us to think that maybe Cole could still be somewhat hurt. Like not 100% yet. Garcia then kept control during a commercial break until Cole mounted a comeback with a Ushigoroshi. Garcia blocked a super kick attempt into an open hand slap as they both traded high boots as Garcia hit a high angle German suplex. Garcia signaled for a super kick but ran into one from Cole instead, and Cole got a 2 off of it. Cole missed the boom as Garcia laid in some anvil elbows but got his leg super kicked out. Cole then missed the Panama Sunrise attempt as Garcia countered into a Dragon Tamer. Cole got to the ropes to break the hold as Garcia opted to pose instead of immediately going back on the attack. Garcia then trapped both of Cole's arms and hit another pile driver, but Cole kicked out. Garcia then charged in with a super kick, and Cole hit a Panama Sunrise, followed by the boom to pick up the victory. After the match, Britt Baker would run down and give Adam Cole a big hug and kiss. Streamers would fill the ring as Jericho's music would play. Jericho would come down and grab Garcia, but as Garcia and Jericho got to the top of the ramp, Jericho kind of stopped, somewhat looked back at Adam Cole, and then eventually went to the back, as Excalibur once again told us, all right, well, if you liked that, then don't forget to watch AEW All Access that chronicles the entire comeback of Adam Cole leading up to this night tonight. What'd you think of the match and the tease of Jericho versus Cole?
I liked it. I mean, at first, I thought Adam Cole was going to be a little rusty at first, considering he hasn't wrestled in a while, but I thought he did pretty well tonight.
I bet.
But yeah, like my main takeaway from this was they're definitely setting up Jericho versus Adam Cole, possibly at Double or Nothing. They'll probably have like one match before that, but maybe they'll probably do a match at Double or Nothing.
Right. Now, as far as you saying that he might have ring rust, I bet you he's over there at Flatbacks. What's his name? Tyler Breeze's school, training and getting reps in all the time.
Have you seen the Dank Ops,
Yep,
like training documentary?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Documentary.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, that was before Cole was even cleared, so Cole wasn't allowed to train with him or anything. He was just there giving advice. Because he was like, yeah,
they had him there.
And Woods.
They had Woods, Claudio.
Well, Woods and
basically the whole party.
Woods and Dank are like best friends.
Yeah. And Adam Cole.
Yeah. So with that was AEW Dynamite. But as far as Rampage and next week's Dynamite do go, a number of things were announced. As far as Rampage does go, Sammy Guevara will be taking on Konosuke Takeshita. Juice Robinson will have a match with Action Andretti. The Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Barretta, will be taking on the Kings of the Black Throne, Brody King and Malachi Black. And Taya Valkyrie will be in action when she takes on Marina Shafir. As far as next week's AEW Dynamite does go, they say it's MJF Day. We also do note that we will hear from all 4 members of the Blackpool Combat Club. Ricky Starks will be in action when he takes on Juice Robinson. The AEW Women's World Championship will be online when Jamie Hayter defends against Riho. And finally, it's title versus careers. It's FTR putting their AEW careers on the line against the Guns, who are putting the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. With that, guys, that was AEW Dynamite. An okay show. Wouldn't call it great or anything. I just thought it was a by-the-numbers kind of show. But do you have any final thoughts here?
Yeah, like you said, it was just like an okay show.
Right.
But like it just felt like an okay show. The one thing I am interested in is like next week FTR versus the Guns.
Yes.
If the Guns win, that's basically them saying that they're staying with AEW, but if they lose, then obviously they're done.
Exactly.
Now, but tonight, though, when they were like hyping up that match, they didn't say like you'll leave forever. Though they just said that you have to be done with AEW.
True.
So, I mean, like you said last week, like when they said forever, maybe that kind of leads to them saying that they're staying. Because if there was that slight chance that they would want to come back, like in the future for something,
right?
And you wouldn't say forever. You just say you have to leave AEW.
Yep. Patient 760 in the YouTube chat. I have no clue what you're talking about or who you're talking about, but you know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Dynamite. As far as the polls do go, Twitch poll, 57% liked the show, 43% thought it was just all right. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 55% liked the show, 33% thought it was just all right, and 11% did not like Dynamite. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 62% liked the show, 25% thought it was just all right, and 13% didn't like it. Looking at some of the comments here. Well, that's a troll comment I'm not even going to read. Person says, missed half of the show, zoned out, writing YouTube comments. Well, okay, that's a troll comment as well. Person says, it was good, I enjoyed it. This person says, I like it Baby, boom. This person said it was just okay. And this other one says 7 out of 10. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, 67% liked it. 20%, no, yeah, 67% liked it. 20% didn't like it. And 11% thought it was just all right. So with that, guys, that's going to wrap everything up. Thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, where can they find you?
You can find me over at Twitter at Petke_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at the Luke Petke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. I think I'm going to go live in a little bit playing MLB The Show 23 over twitch.tv/Timmy Buddy. So keep an eye out over there for that. Maybe we do a little Fortnite as well. Not sure yet what I'm going to play, but I think I'm going to stream over there a little bit later. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.